step 12, where we sewed between the dot and it says the notch, honestly, but I think the notch might be at the 5/8 inch. It does look like it's a 5/8 inch line. So, and again, so you know what, you sewed beyond, it's okay. We can always release it later. It's all good. All right, so we have that down pat. We're measuring out our zipper, but I tend to do it afterwards. So this zipper has, it actually has plastic teeth, right? So it's easy to cut through. So even if these were metal teeth, it's fine. Sometimes you can sew over plastic too. I mean, ideally you don't want to, but you can. And technically at that point, if you do sew over it, it's the same thing as last week when I sort of looped around and created that tack stitch. So that's kind of what they're showing you here in step 13, right? And then you cut it off. But we'll measure it out first. And I think they tell you to pin front sections, being careful not to cut through stitching. So I think they have you snipping to here. I'm actually going to wait to do that. They're going to have you press under right front opening edge, right? And it's right, meaning right side when it's on your body. So, right, so here's our center front, my right, my left, and you're pinning under the right side, right? Is that what it said? Yes, and the diagram's showing you, right? So, 1/2 of an inch, I believe. Clip seam allowance on left front. And this is kind of the tricky thing. So here's the left front. And we're clipping it to the dot, so where you started stitching, right? And then you're pressing this under on the right side. Again, this is the wrong side of the fabric, but the right front, right? Goes to the right side of the body. We pressed under along the fold line, which is 3/8 of an inch, and that's above this clip that's on the left-hand side. So from here, we're actually going to measure out the zipper, which, since this is 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, the head of the zipper should come down to around 3/4 of an inch. Okay. So we're just kind of clearing, right, the basting here that I think was done at a 5/8 inch. And then if we lay this flat, this is where it's going to end, right? So in the directions, they have you tacking this off just by taking a needle and thread, going around the bottom where your zipper is going to end. And this is a plastic zipper. We could technically run over it with the machine, and it'll you know, create a stopper. But we'll just go ahead and make a stopper there. Since this is such a long zipper, so that way, just so the tail doesn't get in our way. And if we measure this out, this should be around 9 inches. Oh no, this is 6 inches. Why is this so short? Okay, in any case, we've measured it. It should be right. You can go ahead and cut off excess. And I think the reason why they had you press under is because that's where we're going to place the zipper first. So this is exactly what we did. We marked it. And if we turn it to the correct side of the fabric, right, where we pressed under is where we're going to place the zipper, right? I'm going to put the ending, right, where we just created the stopper at the very bottom. And notice how I'm putting the zipper teeth almost right up against, right, and my apologies, this zipper has 2 different colors, which is why it's our practice zipper, but we're placing it right, not up against, but just a hair, a 16th of an inch away from the zipper teeth. All right, so you'll want to switch to a zipper foot, right? Just to get it closer. It's catching okay with the regular foot for me, but at any moment it could kind of pivot and go the other way. Okay, so this is how I'm kind of getting away with doing this. Okay, but again, so I'm getting as close as I can, and again, it'll be nice and close with the zipper foot. I'm getting as close as I can to here, right, to the edge. So maybe like if the presser foot, the inside, but you're gonna have it on the zipper foot. If you're just gonna get it nice and close in there, right? You're gonna have to get. All right, here we go. And then you're going down to the dot. And go ahead and backstitch so it's nice and sturdy. Here's our piece 26 that we've pinned. We've matched the dots, and it's all wrong side, So that way, when we turn it over to the right side, we can just stitch, or excuse me, baste. We're gonna baste 3/8 of an inch away from this edge. So honestly, we can do like a presser foot's width away, and it'll be fine because it should be covered up in the end by the other side. Step 17, we applied interfacing to the left fly. It does tell you to stay stitch here, but we're doing it all in one. We also serged off, right, the curved edge and the bottom edge. So we're applying this to the right side, meaning the correct side of the fabric, but the left side of the body. We're matching it up to the top, and we're matching large dots, which again are probably 5/8 inch in from each edge, and it goes down to the clipped edge here. So those are my large dots, and I will then stitch between the large dots. So after we stitch between the dots, we'll need to trim the seam down, right? So I'll actually kind of go in at an angle here, right, and trim the one side down. This was on the 5/8 inch seam allowance. And then I will, notice how this one was not clipped before. Actually, probably doesn't hurt if we clip again, or you can do it again on that sort of rounded cut line. I'm going to grade the seams right to 2 different lengths so that when we turn it to the inside and press, there won't be too much bulk in there. So as we get to number 18, we're going to turn it to the inside and press. All right, so we turned it to the inside, and it took a little working around, right? So, you know, make sure either side is pushed under nicely. So that way, from the right side, you can see how the zipper has formed, right? You can kind of maybe pull a little bit, and with your nail, if there's any little lumps here or little wrinkles. But otherwise, we're taking the pressed edge and we are placing it over the top of the zipper. So that way we see the finished line, right? And this is where we're going to go back and remove the basting, right? It won't show in the end, but we're going to end up on step number 19 we're going to end up on outside. We're going to match centers. We're going to baste close to finish edge. So we're going to baste all of these layers together, which seems kind of silly because the zipper's to open it. But again, we're basting it just to hold everything together. So with the folded edge, again, clearing all of the zipper and creating a nice line at the bottom. We'll pin it, all layers together, right? And then we're going to baste this down. And basically this is to hold the center front together while we work on stitching this part for real to the zipper. Next step says to baste, right? We basted the front. If you turn it over, right, this is my left side. We're going to pull this piece out of the way, but we are going to baste the zipper tape, right, to the left fly. So I'll go ahead and do that on the machine. I don't need to pin because everything is, you know, basted in place from our last step.